everybody, and welcome to The Uncomfortable Truth. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Today, we're going to be talking about all things FA Cup. Now, is this a competition that is the Mickey Mouse Cup, or is this really the cup that has magic really behind it, where we see the giant killing, the shock results, etc., etc.? Now, the reason why I want to be talking about this is because I generally have heard fans talk about I'd rather get top four than win the FA Cup. I hear fans talk about I'd rather finish 17th than win a trophy. 17th in the Premier League and survive is better than winning a trophy. Now, I want to have this uncomfortable conversation because for me, I still personally believe that the FA Cup is pretty special. But I feel that there's a narrative out there today where it's treated more like it's just more of a hindrance on a Premier League. And I don't think that's fine. I think we won't need to talk it out right here, right now. Sammy boy, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, like right now is a good time. Nigeria is through in to knockout rounds of AFCON, so I'm doing good. Ghana's we don't talk about them for now. We'll wait until 2024 for them to actually come good. But you know what? Right now I'm good. Right now I'm good.
What do you think about the FA Cup? When you think about FA Cup, what does it mean to you? Do you think it's just another competition? Maybe some another silverware if you don't get the major trophies.
The FA Cup, like this, it's the oldest cup in football, and like you can't just sniff at that. The fact that it's lasted so long has to hold some form of like testament. Like there are many other trophies that have just like gone and been put in the bin, and like it's still here after all these years, and like the fact. The way I look, so like for me, I see like mid to table clubs going for FA Cups, and I feel like that's that kind of stepping stone they sometimes need to try and challenge for like a league trophy. Just that kind of showing that we can win something gives you the extra boost. Like Jose loves to use cups to try and motivate a team into winning something further and try to like motivate them. And like I feel like nowadays it's more of because of like the money aspect as well of it. Kind of you disregard a cup, an actual trophy, especially like the fact that a West Ham fan will tell me, I'd rather finish fifth than win the FA Cup because finishing fifth is more to me. It's like,
this is the thing I don't get, and maybe this is where it's a thing that differs generation to generation. Now, for me and guys, there's a live call in. Hit the links below. It's going to be on StreamYard. Let's hear your thoughts. If you just want to listen in on a show, when I come with your, tell me your views. Because for me, when I grew up, I used to dream about getting the winning goal in the FA Cup. Now I know a lot of people would say it's the World Cup and everything like that, but from a domestic point of view, I was like the winning goal in the FA Cup. It couldn't get any bigger than that. Now you sound like a dinosaur if you still have that sentiment.
Yeah.
Now for me, I'm going to get sort of why the FA Cup is still a big deal to me and why I love competitions. If you see my tweets, I was hyping about Cambridge United, I was hyping about Nottingham Forest and their recent result against Arsenal. God. But that's the thing, that there are so many stories that come from this, and it's stories that resonate more than just a league game. A league game is a league game. You're going to be doing after season after season. Yes, you might be one of those clubs who get constantly promoted or might
Norwich.
Well, yeah, not Norwich might be one of those examples. But for me, it's like no. This is a one-off opportunity. It's David v Goliath. It's your one shot to just have that shock result. Forget about league form. Forget about how you've done as a club. It's just that one opportunity, Royal Rovers kind of thing. Everyone's probably thinking, what the hell is Rovers? guys to, during the show, after the show, to do some real research, have a look online, and see all these cliches that are coming out. So Royal Rovers is
Mm.
another one. Have a look. But for me, this is the oldest cup competition, as you said, Sam.
Yeah.
1871. This is like this is huge. This has been going on for years.
Mm.
There's some teams that, if you look of that,
Mm.
they probably don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's some, this is where you see the traditional clubs from back in the day, your Preston North Ends, your Blackpools, and things like that.
Oh,
Teams that a lot of fans, a lot of younger fans would be saying, who the hell are
Mm.
they? But they were big. That's what I mean. That's what made
Mm.
these clubs so highly thought of when it came to league football. You have to be in the Premier League to still have that love about them. Now it's a love that's dwindling away bit by bit as the years have gone on. As I said, the generation that's coming through don't know these clubs, because these are clubs that are perhaps now struggling financially in
Yeah.
adult,
Some don't exist.
yeah, they've might have gone bust. Bury,
Yeah.
sorry, they've a club that's gone bust. Blackpool, these are clubs a lot
Mm.
Lancashire,
Yeah.
etc. So people aren't necessarily focusing on those particular leagues. You're lucky if a lot of these fans focus on the championship.
Yeah.
A lot of it's all about the top division for a lot of fans. But with the FA Cup, it's essentially the top 10 divisions.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to necessarily be a professional. You could be semi-pro. You could be in the 10th lowest league, and you could be drawn against Manchester United. That is a possibility.
You could beg a random team, to let you play one game, one FA Cup game. Like, I just have you signed the whole season to play one FA Cup game, and that one FA Cup game could be against a United, a Chelsea, and you'll get to swap shirts with like I don't know, someone like Rashford, or someone like KDB, and like when you imagine you score like the winning goal as well, or you score something amazing, like that can even kickstart a whole career for you. You literally that can actually start you off in football and just have you just rise.
But even if it doesn't kickstart your career, and you're just left with that one goal, that one moment, that your folklore history, like, that's
Exactly.
it. You're always going to be remembered for that moment. And football is built on moments, and that's the thing. That's what makes it magic. Is like, as I said, some ever
Mm.
have their moment against a huge team and cause a massive upset, and it has happened, and it's happened very regularly. And I think the fact that that is even a thing should be celebrated. The fact that a non-league team could generally have a chance to beat a Premier League team. We've seen lower league teams do it. We've seen, and I don't know if you, I'm sure you probably have, but remember when Manchester United played Leeds at Old Trafford? Leeds in League One,
Is oh
Jermaine Beckford
god,
caused us an
oh
absolute misery.
god,
That wasn't Leeds' best team ever, not by a
yeah, one
long
of their
shot.
worst.
Exactly. It's probably their worst, but they had their moment and they took it. And you know what? Those Leeds fans are probably, crying about those days still. Now, if
Yeah.
that was a league game, yeah, I'm sure there might be some stories about that, but it just doesn't carry the same. It's, as I said, it's a one-off game,
Mm.
and it's big to me. And these are the days of, you'd have TV guides and everything like that.
Mm.
And for I sound really old now. Like,
Yeah,
who
you're
uses
sounding
TV
like
guides?
you're sounding like a real boomer here. Oh god. Oh.
But no, but the thing is, like, it was literally down. The FA Cup final was down as the FA Cup final day. It was a day in its own right that would be celebrated first thing in the morning to last thing at night, and everybody would tune in. Yeah, might have a bit of trouble feminist. At the same time, it had everybody's interest.
Mm.
It was generally the last game of the season. It was the last game of the domestic calendar. So everybody would look forward to it. And as I said, you'd wake up in the morning, you get the morning coverage, run down the teams, you probably get the run and the runs, the results that they had. So, this is how the route to the finals for both teams. You look at all their players. They would do stupid things like have FA Cup final.
Right.
It was cheesy as anything, absolutely cheesy. But it was kind of like people were just excited about the day. The fans were excited for the day. You would see them in their droves. Maybe there's the whole iconic status of the Twin Towers at Wembley. Maybe that was a thing. That long walk, onto the pitch. You had all that, but it was a genuine love for this all day long. You had your grandstand, shout out to grandstand as a proper throwback. And then you'd have the main event, you'd have the actual final. And it was always intriguing. For me, I didn't care who, like, obviously you want your own team now. I wanted Man United to be in every final. But the years that they weren't there, I didn't begrudge, watching the final because they weren't there. I was like, oh, it's a big game. This is like, my mind that didn't feature United was Chelsea Middlesbrough. Di Matteo. Like, that goal is so iconic. That moment in itself, absolutely amazing. And you're thinking, like, that's what happens now. Like, that was what the FA Cup was about. Sorry. And if your team won, if you supported your team, and I was very fortunate to see a lot of United in the FA Cup and other final trophies, and the FA Cup in particular, you'd watch the highlights, you'd wait for match of the day, you watch it again. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just the whole day was gone just watching football, and you loved it, and you just had that sheer excitement. Just I had my shirt on and everything like that, and you were just so proud as a fan. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like I feel like all like clubs for this. I feel like the big six clubs take it for granted. I think if whether it's City now, I think we can throw them into the category because they've won enough trophies of late. Chelsea, Arsenal, United. You know what? I think I'm going to say Spurs, which is ridiculous because they haven't. Like, when was the last time they won a trophy? Or Worthington Cup? Early 2000s. But for me, these guys would see it as, we got a trophy, cool, but where do we finish in the league? There's always the caveat, and it's always about the league, and it's like, dude, you just won the trophy. Like, when I saw Leicester last year, and this kind of, it made me feel good that there are still some good football fans out there. Not only were they celebrating at Wembley, but the fans that could make it to London, you saw them outside the KP. Like that, treating it like a celebration, that's how it should be.
Wasn't the owner's son like crying because he had because his dad died a few years ago, so they dedicated that FA Cup to him, to in his memory. Like, that's what it means a lot to some teams still. But like, I don't think we can blame Arsenal as much, because for some reason Arsenal take the FA Cup seriously no matter. Like, said after losing to Nottingham Forest, they looked like someone had just killed their cat. Like, they were depressed. I feel like, I think probably mainly Man City and Liverpool, United to an extent as well, and Spurs. I don't think Arsenal as much though, but I think if the major teams aren't showing respect to it, why would their fans show respect to it? And the thing about the six is that they take up the majority of the football fan base in the UK. So that just leeches on to them. So if they don't take it seriously, why should everyone take it seriously? It just trickles down. So I guess you kind of have to. But then, is it them or is it the media making it seem less relevant as well?
Well, you know what? And this is where we go to the flip side of the coin. So there's me getting nostalgia. It was one of those occasions again. Every shop on the high street, if they had a TV and it was being, it'd probably be showing it. It'd be showing that final. Now we fast forward it. You know, I've seen the FA Cup final generally be treated as an afterthought to a weekend of football. I'm seeing Premier League games being run on the same day. I've seen the FA Cup final being moved to 5:30. Just their games. The FA Cup final should be 3 o'clock. That's not even a discussion point. It's a 3 o'clock thing. Call me a traditionalist. You're probably saying, Jinky, what's the difference, pal? But between 2.5 hours. But it's 3 p.m. kickoff is iconic. That's not even. It's not even a debate. It's an iconic time for kickoff, and it should be treated as a day in its own right. Not fixture, depending on the narrative and the status of the league, is given that preference. And as you said, for me, the media do have a huge part to play in that. And I think this is where perhaps money, and who's behind certain competitions, because we'll touch upon the Premier League in terms of why there is an element of house trophy. We've heard fans. You've seen fans say, "Oh, it's a Mickey Mouse trophy."
Mouse trophy is a teacup trophy. Like it's crazy.
If you haven't won the Champions League or the Premier League, the other trophies are Mickey Mouse trophies. Are you mad? How can right? So let's be real. There's only one team who've done the proper treble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me back to harken back to the old. I could. The fact is that this is a key trophy for that. Premier, Champions League, FA Cup. That's you know what I'm saying. How can it be a Mickey Mouse?
It's crazy,
part of the trilogy.
It's crazy. Yeah. But, do you want to know the day I fully realized that this trophy didn't mean as much as it used to? As the royal wedding, and the fact that if this was probably like 2000s and that happened, people would rather watch the FA Cup. People would have they would have moved the royal wedding because they knew the FA Cup was there, and they were literally going to lose all viewership. But because it's been devalued so much, and no one that United, my birthday, the United versus Chelsea game, and it was an awful game to watch though. It was an awful game, and the fact that nothing really, no one really cared. United fans weren't upset that we lost. No one actually cared that there was the goal scored. Nothing happened. I didn't even see anything of it.
But what did you watch though, Sam? Did you watch the royal wedding?
I was in a restaurant and it was on a screen, and that's how I watched the FA Cup. I'm not gonna lie. I probably wouldn't have watched it. I probably wouldn't have watched it myself.
You too busy Googling Kate's dress or something like that, weren't you?
Nah. That was Harry. But that was
Harry's one.
And Meghan. It was Harry and Meghan. It wasn't that long ago.
No, there's so many royal weddings these days now. So.
Yeah, but yeah, you kind of have to. I on not necessarily on the most blame I put is on the international cups, because the fact that like everything has changed so much in the landscape of football and what you get out of winning these trophies. There's no real point of trying to win the FA Cup, because you can
Yeah.
really get like sixth place and you get the same thing in terms of money, in terms of like sponsorship deals. Like nothing really changes from getting sixth place. And
Let's hold you there, because I know that there's a call in the background, and guys, you'll know who this is about to turn up. But before we get into that, I just want to say the ministry itself has grown quite a bit. Before you had the uncomfortable truth. Boy, we're getting bigger and bigger. So don't forget, we've got carnival football and we've got in the locker. So make sure you watch those shows as well. Very entertaining. Yeah, guys, we're going global with this one. We've had people from Australia. We're now getting people from the Caribbean. It's getting bigger and bigger. So make sure you check into those ones. Make sure you hit the socials. It's a big team getting here. It's going quick, people. It's going quick. But as we say, we've got our caller. You might recognize him. He's changed actually. His hair's growing a bit more. But the man is back.
Well gone, Jinky Doctor. How you lot doing, man?
You've been, man. You've been in the desert. You've been in the desert, man. Like, just 40 days, 40 nights.
The nights had you down
Just
bad.
chilling, watching football, man. But I hear you saying the show's gone international. Listen, I'm not from Australia or Barbados or anything. West London, so it's not an Australia global thing. But I'm here. I'm ready to talk about this magic of the FA Cup. Is FA Cup there, man?
Well, you're here. Let's hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Listen, man, I think the FA Cup will always be magic, because the FA Cup offers something that no other competition in England offers, which is when a Sunday league team is able to play a top European team like Man United, Liverpool. Like, what other competition offers that? Does the Champions League offer that, where a league plays a top European team? No. Does the Premier League offer that? No other competition offers that? That's why for me the FA Cup will always be magical. Just for that fact. I remember a couple years ago when Arsenal played that team. I can't remember their name, and there was that fat goalkeeper on the bench eating a burger. What other competition? You remember that, bro? Remember that? Wayne Shaw, I think it was. Wayne Sutton. But what other competition offers that, where you could see something like that fat guy on the bench? Bro, that's why it will always be magical. But there's a but.
I knew it was too good to be true. I was thinking this is a changed man, and then he says but.
There is a but.
Okay.
Like, for example, we're United fans, and a lot of the time I heard you talk here examples of fans speaking about how they say a FA Cup isn't the level when we don't win anything else. People mourning about only winning the FA Cup. People rather getting top four. I think that is justified when you're a big club, when you're a supporter of a big club. If my club, Man United, only wins the FA Cup in a season, I'm not gonna be happy about that. I'm not gonna be happy about that, because Man United should be best, be aiming for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. Premier Leagues and Champions League is better than the FA Cup. Well, I know I said the FA Cup's more magical, but the Premier League and Champions League are the elite. So when fans of these clubs, the elite clubs, say a FA Cup isn't enough, it's justified. But you still have to respect the FA Cup because of the stuff it offers. Like I said, a Sunday league team playing a big European side.
We say elite, okay? We say elite. That's what makes the FA Cup, as I said, magical. But these elite teams are in this competition altogether. So it's not like, yes, you could have a chance of getting some really favourable draws and get your way to final. That's probably one of the appeals in this. You can have an easier route. You could have a mad moment and beat a big team, but you could have an easy route and get to that final, which is kind of should be an incentive in itself. Fans by the media narrative, because ultimately, and this was before, for me, the damage was done when BT have obviously started showing games. But the FA Cup was essentially only shown on BBC and ITV, and that's again why I feel it's good, because it was inclusive.
Yeah.
Not everybody can afford Sky or BT. So I mean, people just paying for the nose. I know stream now. Stream.
Hey,
Allegedly.
we don't condone that here. We don't condone that.
No. All right, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you. But but the fact of the matter is, it's on terrestrial TV, so everybody can watch it. Everybody can watch it, and that for me was always a good thing. Like the World Cup, I would be really pissed if I saw the World Cup started being played. Not about that.
Yeah.
It's about having football to the masses. This is a showpiece event. It shouldn't be for people who can necessarily. It should be for everybody. Everybody. And when you have the likes of, and I will call them out, Sky Sports. So in the UK, it's Sky Sports.
Yeah.
They do paint a narrative in conjunction with the Premier League. These two, Premier League and Sky Sports, are tied, hand in hand. Now they want to sell their for marketing their product well. That's their job at the end of the day. They have no interest in marketing other things that they have no association with. But when you're trying to sell the belief that finishing fourth is really important, or surviving in the Premier League outweighs winning a trophy, and a lot of fans have actually bought into that narrative, I think there's a problem. Point of view in terms of, we've heard people wanting to sing the Champions League song over an FA Cup win. Ironically, we've seen the most prolific winners of the FA Cup, Arsenal. We've seen them celebrate finishing fourth at St James's Park as if they've won an FA Cup. I used to respect Arsenal. When they did that, I was like, you're finished. You're finished. Like, but because people are bought into this narrative, a top four race and the packaging of it, the survival race, I've generally, you guys know where I live, so I speak to plenty of Norwich fans, and I've had the conversation with them. Guys, if it was down to you finishing or surviving the Premier League or winning an FA Cup, which one would you choose? The majority, and a big majority at that, I think only one person said FA Cup. The rest said surviving the Premier League. On what was living in an alternate reality.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Well, firstly, there's someone in the comments that said that it was actually Wayne Shawn who was eating a pie during an FA Cup game. So that's your guy for you. But yeah, like I think there's a true legend. I think the main issue is that there's firstly for teams the money aspect. If FA Cup, but if you stay in the Premier League, you get a lot more money. You're talking about hundreds of millions for staying in the Premier League. You probably don't even get like up to 50 million for winning an FA Cup. Because it first comes to like the TV right deals. Obviously, yes, Sky Sports has a mega deal with the Premier League, so you get more money for actually winning, for actually staying in the Premier League and finishing 17th. Because then you can go on and buy players, rebuild your and from that way. And then if you win an FA Cup, yeah, you have an FA Cup, but you get relegated and you can't really rebuild because the money from that isn't that much to rebuild. So it's like, why would you really want the FA Cup when you like long term it doesn't benefit? Short term it's great, but long term you don't really get too much. But then you also have the issue of when you win the FA, and if you're a team that gets relegated with the FA Cup, you get put in the Europa League, which again is well. You're gonna have to have fixture congestion in the championship now. Where's that's just gonna lead you further down. You're gonna have injuries. You're gonna have all these issues with players, and you're not really gonna end up doing that much.
And that's a fair point in terms of money. There has to be a reluctance, or certainly an acceptance, reluctant that money is a thing in the game. I don't like it because I feel like it's killed a lot of the spirit of football. And it's not just clubs, but you talk about players' wages, contracts, sponsorship deals. We touched upon this with ESL not so long ago. It's killing the game bit by bit by bit, where you're just starting to see one superstar dregs who are just there just for the lifestyle. It seems now it kind of feels it's getting to like the NBA levels where you do get a couple of very, very good players, but the rest are just there for the vibes. And I don't want to see that. I want to see fully committed footballers. Yeah, you might get the odd screw up, this, that, and the other. You're never going to change that. Football's across is what it is there, but you want to see people really committed to it. And it feels like they're given the life-changing money and they're just happy. Do you know what I mean? They're just happy. But I digress. The thing is for me, Sam, just as the counter to your point, when you get older as a fan and you support a club, you want to be able to talk about big moments as a fan. Sit here right now and tell you about that time. So let's talk about Man United, okay? Because this, we support United.
Yeah.
I can't really talk about a time where, remember that time where we finished fourth or we got in that top four. I could probably tell you something recent because it's recent, but at the same time, any other times that we finished fourth, I'm not sure I could tell you about the day. I'm not sure I could really tell you about the goal. Couldn't tell you how it was scored. It's possible shit, if I'm going to be blunt. Now, are you going to tell me in 10 years' time you're going to remember that moment? Or can you sit here right now and tell me about when we played Crystal Palace in the FA Cup? We had Smalling sent off. Jesse Lingard with that volley.
Yeah.
Clutch moment.
Martial.
Yeah, Martial. I get
you bring
what
up that
you're
semi-final, man.
Everyone loves that. Yeah, but he cooked that semi-final. We know why he did that semi-final.
But that's the thing, isn't it? But will you? Could you come to me and tell me about Martial and a league goal against Everton, as much as compared to that semi-final moment against Everton? Could you? Like that semi-final? So because for you, it's what got Man United into that final.
Yeah, I understand that, but let's say if a team prioritizes the league over the FA Cup, and then what that helps you do is to buy a certain level of player. And when you buy that kind of player, you're like, we've now because that's what really football comes down to nowadays. Like fans will want to see certain players, fans will want to see like the money being splashed out, get the big signing. Like let's say last season we finished 5th and didn't win and won the FA Cup, as opposed to finishing 2nd. We don't buy Jadon Sancho. We don't Ronaldo, hype from like the media and all of that is gone. Like no one comes into their season feeling good. There is no way we buy Ronaldo on Europa League football. That just doesn't happen.
Well, maybe not Ronaldo, but I'm
Doesn't
gonna
happen.
I'm gonna counter that. I'm gonna counter and kill that straight away. Because when Jose came in, were we in Champions League? Who do we get?
Pogs.
We got
Zlatan.
one. We got Zlatan. Okay, 36 Zlatan, but the most high footballer of his age at that point in Paul Pogba. Pogback. We thought we were getting the next Ballon d'Or guy. We got one of the most prolific assisters in the Bundesliga. Oh, man, it's like a carbon copy of this season, actually. And we also had Jose Mourinho, who was a winner. He was sold to us as a winner. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. But at the same time, if a club's getting relegated, because it was big time.
United is probably a poor example. You're using a club that's
but the Championship is a genuine Saturday to Tuesday Saturday league. You're playing a lot of games, and then to throw in another fixture on top of that,
Thursday.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. How does that work for a Championship club? But at the same time, if a team's getting relegated, I would probably put my money on they haven't been that much. Saying that you've won an FA Cup and just having that sheer opportunity is not a bad thing because it's something different, or it should be seen as something different. But as I said, like for me, it's when did it change? Money has become a thing. So you're getting £3 billion now from the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know, we look at the winnings that you get from the actual prize money. You barely £1 billion for just being a runner-up.
For me, you see with the relegation thing, and or would you rather stay in the Premier League or win in the FA Cup? Oh, and how you told me most of the Norwich fans told you that they would rather stay in the Premier League. I don't understand that. If I was a Norwich fan, I'd rather win the FA Cup because what are you doing in the Premier League? You're getting smoked week in, week out. So do you want to stay? Or would you rather win an FA Cup and go to the Championship where you're gonna dominate? You're gonna win games every single week. You're gonna enjoy watching your team.
But to go back to Sam's point, the thing that because I always ask them why, and it's about money. They like, well, if we get 100 million, we can reinvest that. I'm just like, yeah, that's great, but then haven't you done that before? You get relegated with 100 mil, like, so to generally win the FA Cup, you're looking at £2 million. But don't forget, the FA Cup has only just recently been sponsored. 2015 was sponsored by Fly. Well, I'll say Fly Emirates. I know that the trophy is the Emirates FA Cup, but it's the same branding as the Emirates brand, and that's
why Arsenal win it.
Yeah, exactly. All makes sense now. But that's only just recent. This is all FA, this profiteering business in the same way that the Premier League is. It's just it's a football association. I mean, a lot of their money, yes, their top execs and chairmen and everything like earn good buck, but a lot of their money is supposed to go back to grassroots and England and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of that money is reinvested time and time again. So FA Cup, and I think this is where this is all lost. It shouldn't be seen about money. That where people should see opportunity. Manchester United, if you know your history, probably were seen as the first people to disrespect the FA Cup.
Yeah.
After '99, there was the whole issue about whether they can be in the third round FA Cup because they wanted to explore the or whatever the name
Club
was
World
back
Cup,
then.
whatever it is.
But the thing is, like for me, was that the start of it? Was that the start of it? Because then you see people like Jurgen Klopp now, moan about the fixture list. God, if this guy moans about the fixture lists anymore, I think I might scream. But then I'm going to due to scream because he's going to do it. But he will put in youth players and then cry about it.
I'm sorry, like this, but Klopp is a whiner. Klopp is just he complains about everything when it doesn't go his way. So I don't even take him seriously, because when Pep has an FA Cup game, he doesn't complain, because he has a massive squad, but he's like, okay, I can throw out like a Phil Foden, I can throw out like a Cole Palmer, and like try and get people some experience, which is like part of what the FA Cup is about as well.
Yeah,
you get these
it's integrating.
A lot of otherwise are made in the FA Cup. Lingard would probably not be a United player right now if it wasn't for that FA Cup run, because to be honest, he wasn't looking that amazing. Yeah, he had some moments, but like this isn't like, no one was calling him Lingardinho back then. No one was calling him Hesse. And then until he scored that FA Cup volley, no one really thought, oh, he was really going to do something. And yeah, we were thinking, oh, we might as well just sell him now because he's not really going to amount to much.
To be fair, in the same breath, I killed Phil Jones's career, for me personally, because of their FA Cup final against against Chelsea. I always, like, in my head was like, Phil Jones won, Man United 0. What's he done? You know what I mean? Like, because it was just such a tight game with moments. So, like, for me, it's just like, yeah, we've got one caller on. I think remember him from last week. Arjun, how are you, my man?
Hi, Jinky, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So,
what's your point?
I have a very interesting perspective about this, is because uh, I think has to be a distinction between the England fans and the all over the world fans. I think the people who are there in England and follow football, for them FA Cup is justice, and they love it because you have seen down the generation, and you have gone to Wembley. For us fans who are outside England and have started following football in last decade or so, and even like because for us following football back in 2000s was difficult. We didn't used to get the coverage. Now only we have that good coverage, so we don't have that history with it. So when it comes down to, do you want a FA Cup or a top four finish? It's always going to be a top four finish, because you're going to play in Champions League, and Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and you're going to see top dogs against your team, and that's what you want. And FA Cup, is it, it's always like, it's a domestic trophy, and we have always slandered PSG, Bayern Munich for winning the domestic cups, saying that, it's Farmers League. It's the same way for us right now, because the like you say, the good teams can't, the championship teams can't come up because, they don't have the quality. And even if they do, City just throw them out just like that. So it's always the top.
Arjun, just a quick one, because that's it's a really good point you've made. Who do you support? If don't mind me asking.
Manchester United.
So, okay, so let's use this example. So Manchester United are having a pretty pants season. Yeah. Do you believe that they can win the Champions League? Like, being honest, no rose tinted glasses on.
Yeah, I can. I do.
I respect that. I respect that.
No, because I have seen Chelsea win it last season, and I'm telling you, that team, except Real Madrid, they didn't do shit in that competition. The opponents were not good enough. Whereas the other teams have gone through, playing PSG, Bayern Munich. These are the Dortmund. These were the, you have Haaland, you have Lewandowski. Even though Lewandowski was injured that time, you had Neymar and all. And these to semi-final, you can make it through, and that gives me a glimmer of hope. Whereas even if we do win the FA Cup, it doesn't matter, because now Arsenal fan comes up to me and says that they have won the FA Cup. I'm like, so what? So what? Because I know that doesn't mean anything to me as a fan. But Chelsea fan comes up to me and says we are the champions of the Europe. Now that stings as a fan. You can't banter them on it. So that's how it is for me.
Yeah, I was. Well, a question for you, but based on that, because you talked about facing the biggest teams and winning the biggest trophies. Then why were people so opposed to the Super League? Isn't that basically what they were trying to do? Like, isn't that what the Super League basically is? We're trying to give us the best players against the best players, best teams against the best teams, the superstars against superstars. So I don't know if you're in support of Super League, but isn't that just generally what people technically?
I cannot. No, I was against the Super League because I do, like you love to play against these big teams, but at the end you don't want to disrupt the ecosystem of football. But I'll be honest with you, in India there's a league called Indian Super League, and we have that structure. We have the same structure for cricket, we have the same structure for football, and we have been doing this. We had a team called Mohan Bagan, which has been there in India like 100 dissolved into a Atletico Madrid owned franchise. And I'm telling you, there was a huge outrage, but they had to do it because it has more money. At the end, you have to pay the wages. At the end, you have to pay the stadium fees. Sorry, electricity bills and everything. So you have to go where the more money is, and that's why maybe the Super League may in next 15 years may be a reality. Because
Wajin, I've got to say, saying that he's speaking. I'm presuming it's yourself. He's speaking so much facts, really good points. I've also had a comment from McKay. Bring the Super League. I'll take that over the current situation we're in.
I guess it's probably a United fan. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing as well. The United are on that one, but well, Perez, if you're hearing this, if for some strange reason you've ever clicked onto the ministry accidentally, you might. But no, Arjun, that's some really really good points. What my counters to that, I think with the FA Cup, it has been it's one of the few competitions, especially the final, one of the few competitions was traditionally televised around the world, and it holds that occasion. Now, I arguably grown in terms of how it's been marketed. It has been marketed very, very well into this super competition, because even perhaps in the Champions League is not a new thing. It's been going. The European Cup, the Champions League has been going on for many, many, many years. In the 90s, the FA Cup was still as big. In terms of like you'd still watch it, you still have the intrigue. Not saying that winning the European trophy is less or is same as FA Cup. The European Cup is the European, of course, it's the. But I'm talking about engagement, and that's the bit I'm trying to get into. When you've got engagement, you've got the backing of it, and I perhaps it's a case of like, is the FA Cup final televised where you are? Like, is it kind of?
Yeah. No,
if you had, and this has happened. So if you've got Premier League games, and you've got the FA Cup on the same day. What game would you more likely to check into?
If Manchester United is playing, then obviously I would see what Manchester the other teams. It depends upon which team is playing. So if it's Manchester City versus Chelsea in the FA Cup, I'm obviously going to prefer that. Because...
So what if you had a final that was Manchester City? Okay, so you have Manchester United playing, yeah. Afterwards, you had Manchester City versus Wigan in the FA Cup final. Would there not be any intrigue into watching that? Because as I said, you know about Man City, of course, Wouldn't the fact that you don't know much about Wigan be the intrigue, be the selling point in itself? You're thinking, well, who the hell are this team? Never heard of them. Don't know their players. Don't know their manager. Would that not appeal to you in itself? Thinking, Jesus, who are this team? They've got all the way to this final that would have the likes of Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea's, and they've got to that final, not these guys. So isn't that the appeal in itself?
I've got an answer to that, and I'll let you answer afterwards. That just thing. Like, fans don't really want to see, like, you have fans complaining, oh, why are we facing some random bum team from like the back end of England. Like, they don't actually care to see these, unless you're a rival and your team is losing. People don't really want, as in, like, no one wants to see like Leicester face like Portsmouth Harbour, like, so I mean, just Portsmouth. Like, no one really wants to see that, because no one really, like, they're like Leicester, who really cares? Nothing really gets made of it. It's only when it's a big team being beaten. But then, even then, a lot of people would rather see like a Brighton versus Crystal Palace, because you're more likely to get a competitive game from a Brighton and Crystal Palace than you are against like a Wigan and Man City, where Man City's second team or even their reserve team probably is like 1,000 times better than a Wigan team whose striker probably is like can't even score 20 goals a season, or even like 10 goals. It's just it's unfair to them, but modern fans care more about the names that are playing rather than the actual teams. So if your team has like the one player that people want to see, for example, a lot of people watch the Arsenal versus Nottingham game. A lot of the United fans watched it because of James Garner playing. If James Garner wasn't on loan, people wouldn't care as much, and you had less United fans watching.
But I feel
what Dr. Renage perhaps been saying, or just overall. Yeah, just as I said, the interest in it. Like, were you interested in seeing Arsenal Forest because of James Garner? Did that make a difference to you? Do you care if there's like a Leicester v Portsmouth? You know, Portsmouth, old FA Cup winners, 2008. You know, that Harry Redknapp team, but they've since been relegated again. Something in terms of that history element to it.
In terms of, having an interest in finding out about new teams, I'm being honest. I don't really. I would rather watch the Premier League game. Answering the question you asked earlier, I would rather watch the Premier League game, because the Premier League is the bigger competition. So if a Man City is playing Wigan, like you said earlier, there's a, like, let's say Arsenal are playing.
This is the final. The final. This isn't like this is generally the final.
And what's the
even
Premier
if it's
League game?
My goodness.
let's say it's Leicester versus Portsmouth in the FA Cup final, and let's say it's in the league, it's like West Ham versus Brighton.
Obviously, I would watch Leicester versus Portsmouth. I would watch Leicester versus Portsmouth FA Cup final.
But this is this is my Premier League. So there's such a push on that, and as I said, sometimes you do get some mediocre games. You might get a Liverpool, but they're playing a Watford, and people tune in for that to basically make sure. Well, if you're a Liverpool fan, obviously you want Liverpool to win, but rival fans will be checking in just in case they don't get those points, so they can have a little weird celebration of that fact. But then go, oh, it's only FA Cup, isn't it? So like, forget about it. And I just don't get it. It doesn't benefit you and has no real conclusion, but you've just basically bought into a story that it's supposed to be bigger, and it's compared to perhaps a subtle advertisement of what is a bigger situation, which is a cup final. Every cup final is important.
I think, you see, for me, my overall thoughts, you see, on the FA Cup, you say every cup final is important and all of that, but you see more So overall, I think it depends on the team, the players, and the fan. Because let me give you an example. Like I said, the FA Cup is special because Sunday League clubs can play the top European clubs. Let's say I was playing for a Sunday League club, and I managed to win the FA Cup with that Sunday League club. I don't know if that's ever happened, but if that
Well,
happened,
Sunday. No, not.
No, not
I
Sunday.
go with it, but yeah, when there's it's the top 10 tiers essentially of,
So like
of the
National
football.
League,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
let's
so
say
you do
I
get
win
non-league
it.
teams. Yeah,
That will mean more to me. It'll probably mean way more to me winning that than Messi winning the World Cup. That's how big it is for someone like me in a low division to win an FA Cup. Probably more to me than
But
Messi
then
winning the
what
World
are
Cup.
fans
this is
gonna care
but
more
this is
about?
but this is why I want to. And Arjun, I probably can guess your thought on this. But given that you
I mean,
generally see that, and I'm talking about the Champions League nowadays, the way that the Champions League is geared up, the seeding system, you see the same teams over and over again, bar a few. Yeah, a couple like your Sheriffs and people like that was cool that they came in, that they beat Real Madrid. That's cool. You generally see the same teams.
Mm-hmm.
With the FA Cup, you do generally get a chance every so often of something different. So for you have the Wigan 2012, 2013 was as I call him, Paul Scholes' son scored Ben Watson. No, but he got the winner. No, Ben Watson he got the winner. He got the winner against all odds. Yeah. Then you have Portsmouth 2008. This was the year that Man United were going to get another treble. They stopped United getting that. They stopped them, and they won. That was a shock. 1988 is probably considered one of the most iconic finals ever, with the likes of Liverpool, Wimbledon, the crazy gang. Like, does that not, as a football fan, Arjun, does that not intrigue you to perhaps look up and research it, history of things? Because there's some clubs that aren't perhaps known now because they're not in the Premier League or whatever circumstance. Does that not interest you to look into it? And because in the Champions
Jinky,
League, what are you actually looking at? Because you already know the teams because they don't change. Like, you know a lot of them.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. In I think the most outside the India or sorry outside the England, what the game starts from the fourth round of FA Cup. Mostly you get the televised game from the fourth round of the FA Cup, and
Yeah.
we watch it only because our teams are playing and stuff like that. But I feel FA Cup it should be there. It should continue because it's a tradition, right? It's a tradition. It's a culture thing, and it's well and good. But when it comes down to the bones financially, because it does matter because you have won the FA Cup, but next season you don't have any money because say you didn't finish that high up in the league and stuff like that.
But
So
Arjun, you get 100 million irrespective of where you finish in the league. You might get a couple of placement bonuses, but you still get that money.
No, what I'm trying to say is that okay. So let me rephrase. When you say that these teams like Portsmouth and these teams are coming up, but what's the probability of the next team coming up? I mean, it has City, Chelsea has just improved drastically. All these clubs have increased drastically. So there has been the less probability of these clubs. Tell me the last championship team which played in the semi-final. For me, the last time I mean I don't remember any championship team playing a semi-final, and that's why there is a decreasing interest because you just go like, yeah, so it's a trophy because Leicester won it. Leicester just won it, and it's like it's forgotten history. So well in the UEFA. Even if you win the Europa, I think you have the more leverage of your, you have more ground stomping as your friend, and
But I
that's the
feel,
hard reality.
but I feel
That's it.
Leicester aren't going to forget about what happened last season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fans,
I mean, obviously,
Okay,
fan.
okay. It is a point, Arjun. It is a point. And Sam and I test. I want you to either agree or disagree and counter with your points. Leicester have won. Been in a okay. They've been in the elite competition, playing the elite teams. Do you think the Leicester fans care more about that run in the Champions League, or do you think they? And I want to hear this in the comments as well, live and if you're viewing after. But do you think the Leicester fans give a damn about that Champions League run more than that FA Cup win?
They care more about the FA Cup. I forgot about that
100%.
Champions League.
That Champions League
100%.
run, that was a good Champions League run though.
If they got to the semi-final,
yeah,
listen, if they beat Atletico, I think they got knocked out by. If they beat Atletico, maybe there's a discussion. Maybe there's a discussion if they beat Atletico.
yeah.
But at this moment in time, I think it's the FA Cup.
But then you say that though. But then you also have the fact that someone like because last season, yeah, Leicester won the FA Cup. But then you also have people calling Brendan Rodgers a bossler because he lost top 4 on the last day. Like people care, like maybe Leicester fans might care more about the FA Cup, but in the overall like football world and football fans care more about him bottling top 4.
Let me bring something up because we're talking about FA Cup or top 4. Yeah, you brought that up. Let's bring up two teams, Tottenham and Arsenal. Over the past 5-6 years, who's been more successful? Arsenal, I think, won 2 FA Cups, but Tottenham have top 4.
And a final.
Almost.
And a Champions League final.
Let's say a couple of years ago when Tottenham was getting top 4 every single season, and that period where Arsenal won 2 FA Cups. What team would you rather be? Because now, looking back at it, at the time, it's probably Tottenham.
Yeah,
Tottenham.
But then Spurs also made it to Champions League final.
Right now, looking back, I'd rather Arsenal because Arsenal have the trophies in the cabinet. They're now catching up. United. So long term, probably Arsenal, but short term is.
Oh, dude, they've bypassed United on FA Cups now. They're leading the way.
I think they've got 14. I think they've got 14 now.
So my point is, I think my final point on the FA Cup versus top 4. I think long term, you'd rather the FA Cup because that's gonna go on the records. Like with Arsenal, they've now surpassed United with FA Cups. But short term, you'd rather the Champions League. You get to play the biggest teams in the world. But the FA Cup will probably only be a short-term pleasure. You get to celebrate it, but next season you're playing scrubs in the Europa League instead of playing Bayern Munich in the champs.
I see what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying because, like, think about it. Like, yeah, they've surpassed us in FA Cups. No one cares. Honestly, no fans don't care. I've like Arsenal, like even Arsenal fans will wave them.
UK. They do UK. That's the only thing they've got.
When you tell them, no, Arsenal fans care about it, but if you tell them, oh, put a Champions League out, and they're just like, oh, sorry, put a European Cup out, they now get scared. They cry because they know they've never been at the top level of football. The fact that even the fact that we even have people saying, oh, because he never won a Champions League, like Henry is now lower than Drogba, just speaks to the testament how much more European and Premier Leagues mean more than FA Cups. And I'm saying this
more to win it.
Yeah,
it means more to win it, but to play in it. We're talking
even
about
to play. People have made jokes.
I would rather win the FA Cup.
People make jokes about but people make lots of jokes about Arsenal have about Leicester have more Champions League appearances in past 5 years than or appearances in Europe in the past 5 years than Arsenal have FA Cup wins. Like people make jokes about that all the time. yeah, but you guys are still in Europa League, and I think it's just a change of like fans really that don't believe that the FA Cup really means anything.
I want to give Arjun one sort of final sort of say before we sort of wrap up his particular call. But any sort of further comments? You've made some really good points. I got to say, some good counters. But yeah,
Just one last point, if I may.
Sure, sure.
I feel that the FA management team is, I think, since they have got all these live telecasts going on right now, I think it's their time to do the marketing, get that thing right, get the money in, make the price pool competitive, because then only you get that interest in. I think it depends upon the management how they market it, because UEFA Champions League wasn't, like you said, wasn't the one of the thing that we wanted to play. I remember Manchester United had to wasn't even allowed to everything. I saw a movie where they explained it. So in the same way, if FA Cup is made that, if the management works towards it and makes it like the way it makes it enticing towards the other people, I'm pretty sure people tune in, because people still tune in. I'm telling you, in like general viewership in India about for FA Cups for United is 200 to 300k concurrent viewers, and that's a lot. Or a lot of people watch.
Yeah, is when it comes to the Football Association, they're just a governing body. They're not a business. I know that they should operate as a business, and they do, but you've got to consider what the Football Association about. They're not just for professional football alone; it's also amateur. So going back to eye tests, Sunday League football, they will oversee and they'll govern that. They'll govern all the 5, 6, 7 side, all the Power League tours. Anything structure that's built, any cages or anything like that, they probably had a hand in, whether it's them or Sports England. And they've got to invest in all that, because surely the future of the game is as important as what's currently going on. We want to bring in the best, and I appreciate the FA will only oversee England in this instance, but you want to see people have the opportunity to play football and that escape, whether it's just to showcase their talent. And actually, it might be a case of actually just showing that they've got something and develop into a professional footballer. If the FA don't invest in that way into grassroots football, you don't get the players that you're looking to celebrate now. Take some of you guys are from London. Do you think that these pro footballers would be there if the infrastructure wasn't there in the first place? And this is what the FA are behind. So a lot of that it became this Premier League type brand. Then they lose what they are, which is essentially a governing body. They just become a private corporation. And then when you're a private corporation, you're very much governed by a very weird agenda. And then the agenda is always going to be, well, what pays the most? What pays the most? So it is a very outdated thing. I get that. But a football association is a football association at the end of the day. But Arjun, honestly, some fantastic points. For me, so brilliant points. Be glad to have you on future shows. But thank you for your time. Take care. I think we've got another caller on. I think if he's able to come on, I think it's Nexus. Nexus, my man, how are you?
Yo, what's up? Oh my days. Wait, I want to ask you guys something.
Sure.
Oh, FA Cup. Is it the like, because I don't really like political stuff.
Well, we can talk politics if you want. It's essentially, look, the FA Cup. You know, what are your thoughts on the FA Cup first and foremost? Like, when you think about the competition, is it a big competition for you? Is it a distraction? What is it?
Nah, I like the FA Cup. It's the Carabao Cup. I don't read like that. I like the FA Cup. Look at it like this. You see what Real Madrid like the UCL snow. You get what I mean? They own those certain
The
competitions.
Arsene Wenger Cup.
You get what I'm saying? They own like, it's actually a very good thing to have on your name. You get what I'm saying? If Man United, if we're actually named after the FA Cup, I actually like that stuff. Like, if we, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if we're named after the FA Cup, I'll like that kind of stuff. But yeah, the FA Cup, I like the FA Cup. But I just don't know about
okay, just a quick one, because I know the show's about the FA Cup. I've been, to be honest, in the same vein. It's seen as this distraction. So why don't you like the Carabao?
The Carabao Cup. Why don't I like it? Because it feels the same thing. It feels like the same thing, but I just don't. It's just a first hit. You get what I'm saying? Like a first kind of hit. Like, I don't want to like it because it gives extra games and stuff. But when actually it's just, for me, it's like the same thing with FA Cup. They should just crap it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm quick to say that.
Does the Carabao Cup help like all these teams? Like, does it help like all these let me say
to answer your question with the Carabao Cup? So whilst we talked about the 10 tiers, you know, the 10 top tiers in the game, so you will generally have the Football League, non-league football, and working your way down. With the Carabao Cup, it is essentially the EFL Cup. So it's all the teams in the League Two. So you still have the same opportunity if you're a League Two team to knock out a Premier League side. And we've seen some low placed teams do it. We have seen it. I'm literally. It's a team in yellow. It's a team in yellow. I know someone in the comments is gonna tell me this, but he played Man City in a semi-final quite recently.
I don't know. No, I forgot to.
I mean, so the opportunity there.
Is it Middlesbrough? I'm not too sure.
I don't.
All right, guys. Let's just try
in
and
the
find
comments,
this one
guys.
out.
In the comments, guys. In the comments. Tell him in the comments. Tell him in the comments.
But yeah, so that's basically the setup of the Carabao Cup. So now that you know that, what are your thoughts?
But the FA Cup quality, man.
I was just gonna quickly add with like, I'm sorry, I'm sponsored by me.
The Wi-Fi is movie bookie.
Is it me? Am I good?
You are a little bit lower than usual.
Okay.
I didn't know what to say.
Okay. But yeah,
go
like,
on, Nexus.
The Carabao
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, but the Carabao Cups like sponsored by has been sponsored by Coca-Cola, but it's sponsored by milk.
Hey, whoa! Hang on. I'm shutting down because you've made a rookie error. Coca-Cola, which was a major sponsor for the World Cup, and you're gonna slander it. You're gonna slander it.
Maybe not Coca-Cola, but come on, like imagine we're winning the Milk Cup. Imagine someone said, "I brought him the Milk Cup." Come on, like the Carabao Cup doesn't do anything for anyone.
Ironically, going back to Norwich fans, that is their last trophy, the Milk Cup.
Exactly. Like imagine telling a Norwich you. No, that's depressing. That's depressing. That's not a come on. Like literally the definition of a teacup. You put milk in a teacup and you're not having a trophy named after milk.
Wait, how many eye tests are here? I've seen a lot of eye tests on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of eye tests. There's a Chelsea eye test I do.
He gets
a Chelsea fan. His name is eye test.
He gets.
He's the real one. It's the real goat. Don't
Chelsea fan I do. His name is eye test.
The thing is with eye test, he some days he might be a Chelsea fan, other days PSG. Just you don't know with this guy. You don't know with this guy. I think he might be a Leicester fan these days. Actually, I heard he's a West Ham fan. He likes Moyes. So
no, it's a Brendan fan. It's Leicester.
I'm a loyal guy.
But next is what's your
Me,
Yeah.
I'm not that old, so I don't know much.
Why are you like?
So,
Come on. What's your? You know
no,
plenty.
like,
Come on. What's your favorite?
jeez, that's hard. That's hard. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to think. If it's based on winning, is the lane that stop. But that Middlesbrough Man City, I still like the fact they smashed Man City. I love that moment.
What year was that?
Huh?
What year? What year was that? The Middlesbrough one. Are you a Middlesbrough fan?
I think 2017. I'm not too sure.
Are you a
talking about,
Middlesbrough
like, the
fan?
eight-
I
are you
feel
talking
feel
about the
like
8-1?
because you've mentioned a couple of times Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I
Middlesbrough.
don't know.
It was 0708. It was 0708. And
Nah, I'm not a
Middlesbrough 8.
Middlesbrough fan. Like, it's like the feeling. You get what I'm saying? Like for a League One team or two teams to beat Man City, smash them off the ground. That's a good stuff. That's good stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Brilliant. Well, next is thank you for your call. There's some funny points there, and I can recall you from the past. I can't remember what show it is before, but yeah, very entertaining as always. So
The
thank you for coming on.
Take care.
Take care, buddy. Guys, just as a final wrap. Oh, you got comments there, Sam, that you want to go through?
I got some comments. I respect the Milk Cup. The Milk Cup. You definitely need some of that. Hey, allow it. We come on. Respect me a bit. I'm seeing someone say Chelsea always trying to copy United. What's new? I test is the original. He's trying to call out the Chelsea frauds. Oh,
Chelsea eye test. If you're on the socials, if anybody knows this guy, definitely at this guy in. He's been slandered. Maybe he should come on the show. Eye test versus out. Nah, but just as to wrap up, guys, because there's some really good points here. You've gone back and forth. We've talked about history. As I said, for me, I generally, and this is the thing. Even though I'm a Manchester United fan, I am a huge general football fan. You know, I don't just look at the present and forget the past. I love to look at the past because ultimately it's what's led to this moment. So it came from a footballing point of view, and the FA Cup is no different. Really look at it because you'll see some real funky stuff. You'll see some magic moments, and you'll be like, damn, you know, did this team really do that? You know, 1988 with Liverpool, Wimbledon. I know I mentioned that before, but when you looked at the odds of them winning against what was the biggest team, not only in England but in Europe, in Liverpool, and for these Wimbledon on the pitch, but there was like a bit of a cult following to them because they did it their way, and they won. There was a penalty save and everything like that. You look at where Wimbledon are now. The fact that they folded, well, say they folded, sorry, but they moved to Milton Keynes. They then sort of changed the name to MK Dons. It's all very controversial. Wimbledon folded essentially, but then they've kind of been allowed to have that history. But then MK Dons at the same time have been allowed to have that history. So there's a real grudge match when it comes to those two, and that's a pretty cool story when it comes to football. So I said I do really want you guys to look into this. But Sam, any sort of final thoughts from yourself?
Yeah, as always, I still feel like the FA Cup has its prestige, it has its worth, but I just think with the way football is going, stuff like this is just going to become obsolete soon, because at the end of the day, football fans nowadays care more about big names and big teams than watching people lose to small clubs. I think they'd rather see like a Messi than watch like a National League team beat Manchester United. I think that's just the way football is changing now. And unless something happens drastically within our culture or just in general in football, I just think that non-existent, which is sad because some of my greatest memories do come from the FA Cup.
Yeah. I test final thoughts.
Yeah, for me, the FA Cup will always be special. Just like what I said earlier, it offers something that no other trophy offers. But I think it's only special to us who have lived in England. You know, live in England. We live in England. We've grew up with the FA Cup. We grew up with it. So, and we had 50 Cal come on earlier. He said it's not as big as the FA Cup isn't really that big outside of England. If you think Spanish fans, German fans, Indian fans, all of these other fans care about the FA Cup, no, they don't care. They care about the top boys, the Premier League, the Big Six. They don't even care about the mid-table clubs in the Premier League. They care about the big, the elite Premier League. That's what they care about. But it will always be special to us because of what it offers, the history. So, but just like us, we don't really care about the Copa del Rey. I watch it here and there, but I don't care about it. There's not that feeling like I do have that feeling with the FA Cup. I don't care about whatever it's called in Germany. I don't even know what it's called. I don't really care about that and the history of that. So it's, but the German fans might care about that. The Spanish fans might care about the Copa, that trophy. Yeah, but like we care about the FA Cup. So that's my general thoughts, man.
No, that's a good point. And just to sort of, come off both of those points. Yeah, there are some lower league teams that have that opportunity to cause an upset, but also, it's not just the Premier League that props it up. You do have the Champions League, you do have the 1 and 2, you do have the Conference Leagues and the leagues below that. These are clubs at the end of the day that still need the money. And if they get drawn to these big teams, that club surviving for many years or not at all. And we got to respect those teams, because at the end of the day, those teams could be holding the next big thing. Just because they're non-league doesn't mean that they're non-existent. And these guys are important when it comes to up and coming players. Look, if Fleetwood didn't exist, would we have Jamie Vardy?
Only player to play in every single round of the FA Cup.
That's a nice fun fact. Big up Jamie Vardy there. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you miss that opportunity. If Fleetwood don't have the money, if they can't invest, do we get Jamie Vardy? Does Jamie Vardy perhaps go to a different club and it doesn't quite work out in the same way? So therefore we miss a great talent, because football can work that way. So just bear that in mind. I think I test your point on German cups and Spanish cups. Yeah, I'll put my hands up. Yeah, you make a valid point. I don't necessarily go out my way and go, oh, this is magical. About the FA Cup and how it was seen in such a prestigious light compared to nowadays, and we've explored that. But guys, as I said, this has been a brilliant show. Some fantastic points, some real thought-provoking stuff. Please share this, because we got an FA Cup weekend coming up soon. People don't talk about this enough. Do you know what I mean? So let's share this video. Let's like, and look, we're growing this channel. We talked about the 2 other shows that are coming on here. That they're absolutely great. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Make sure you follow our socials. iTest, do you have your social to give?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it?
I don't memorize it, to be honest. But
you don't.
but join the Discord, man. Join the Discord.
Join the Discord, and you'll see him lingering around.
Yeah,
you'll see him lingering around.
We're all active on it.
Often. Great plug. But yeah, we Twitter and IG, and as I said, I do endorse you guys following it. You got at Doctor Who Sam 7, and then you got myself Jinky 2 eyes on the end of it. Look, I'm always posting every day, trying to provoke something somewhere down the line. We'll be looking to actually do some uncomfortable shorts going forward on IG, maybe some Twitter live spaces. So be on the lookout for that and things to come.
Yeah,
But
I found my Twitter
Ah,
is underscore
tagged on.
_Osman_10.
hey,
Yeah.
Sounds like a
hey.
terrible Xbox name. All right, guys, but it's been a pleasure. Test, really good having you back, Sam.
Appreciate it.
Always
Pleasure,
good,
as always.
always good. And guys, we'll see you next week with another Uncomfortable Truth. Take care.